Hey everyone, Julia from Sunday Sounds here. Let's take a look at our patch designed in the style of King of Glory as originally performed by Passion. We play this song in its original key of B flat and at its original tempo of 172 BPM. This patch has piano, synth, pads, bass, and arps. Your left hand will play single notes in both octaves of its range depending on the intensity of the section, as well as full octave bass notes at some points. From 0 to 50% on the mod wheel, there are mostly pads and a quiet arp that you can hear from the upper octave of your left hand. As we increase the mod wheel, you'll begin to hear more of those arps and the synths and pads open up. From 50% to 100% on the mod wheel, you'll hear a lot more arps, bass, and synth come through. Most of the arps are triggered in the upper octave range of the left hand. So feel free to drop out the higher octave for any parts that drop down. The right hand will play a series of synth riffs and lead lines. There's a piano patch that stretches all the way across the keys, and at the top of the mod wheel, there is a synth patch for the synth riff in the chorus. It stretches from here to the top of your keyboard. For the intro, you'll have the mod wheel at 50%. You'll begin by holding down the note of your key in the upper left-hand range and fading into the song for 4 counts. Then you'll play the right-hand lead line up here. After playing through this one time, you'll add the low octave in your left hand and play through the rest of the chord changes in the intro. Here's what the right-hand synth lead line sounds like. And here is the intro with both hands. For the down verses, and for every verse, you'll have the mod wheel at 50%. You'll start by playing single notes in the lower octave with your left hand, and then add the higher octave halfway through to build and bring in those arps. At the end of each half of the verse, I like to play a shortened version of the synth lead line from the intro, like they do in the recording. The first time you play it, you'll play the first half, and the second time you'll play the second half. So here's the first riff that you'll play. And then here's the second riff you'll play. So here's what this verse will sound like with both hands. For the medium verse, you'll start by playing octaves with your left hand right away. This verse is only half as long, so I like to play it exactly the same way as the second half of the previous verse. So that short synth riff will be the second half of the synth lead from the intro. For the first chorus and every chorus, you'll have the mod wheel all the way up at 100. Your left hand will play octaves and your right hand will play a synth riff up high. I'll play this chorus with both hands and then break it down so you can see the right hand separately. Do note that when you repeat the chord progression, there is a slight change in the second half. You add in that fifth of your key when you're moving from the 4 to the 6. After this chorus, there's a short turnaround where you'll hold the note of your key in the high octave of your left hand and play that shortened synth lead line in your right hand. I also like to move the mod wheel back to 50 during this part to get ready for the next section. Be sure to check out the demo to see this part in context. The second time you play the chorus will be the exact same as the first time. However, this one will not be followed by that short turnaround. For your final chorus, you'll start by just playing single notes in the lowest octave with your left hand. The chords don't change, so you'll just hold out the note of your key for the entire first half of the chorus. Halfway through, you'll bring back in the upper octave of your left hand, the right hand synth riff, and the chord changes. This final chorus is followed by a short outro where you'll continue playing octaves with your left hand, and your right hand will play the shortened synth lead line from the intro. For the interlude and the down bridge, you'll move the mod wheel all the way down to 0. I like to make sure I get to 0 before I play that first chord. For the short interlude, I like to play just the low octave in my left hand, then bring in the higher octave, which has a quiet arp, at the beginning of the down bridge. For the medium bridge, which is directly after the down bridge, you'll move the mod wheel to about 25% and you'll just play octaves in your left hand. Your right hand won't do anything for either of the bridges. Here's the interlude, the down bridge, and the medium bridge all together. turnaround, which comes directly between the bridge and the final chorus, you'll be moving the mod wheel to 100 slowly. Your left hand will hold the note of your key in the higher octave for the first half of this turnaround. Your right hand will play the synth lead line from the intro. Halfway through, you'll add in the lower octave to build into the final chorus and add in the chord changes that are written. I also like to drop out the lower octave of my left hand on that very last chord leading into that chorus. Here's what the entire turnaround will sound like. Now be sure to check out the demo to see how I move the mod wheel between these different sections and build the intensity of the song. So just to review the different mod wheel positions, all the way down at 0 will be your interlude and your down bridge. About 25% will be your medium bridge. About 50% is where you'll actually start the song with your intro and then all of your verses. And then at 100 will be every chorus and then that turnaround. Now, before I let you go, I wanted to let you know that there's a Facebook group called Sunday Sounds Insiders, where you can find song patch polls, behind the scenes videos, break photos, sound design tips, sneak peeks from us, and so much more. It would be awesome to see you in there. Until then, I'm Julia with Sunday Sounds. I'll see you next time.